Yellowstone erupted today, what would you do? Where would you be? How would we handle it? What would you do? Respectfully, what would you do? Do we have a plan? This video is Yellowstone Park urgent report shows unusual activity at supervolcano. What would you do if it decided to erupt today? Let's check this video out.
And it blows every 600,000 to 800,000 years, and everyone dies.
In a startling development, Yellowstone National Park is experiencing unusual geological activity that has experts on high alert. Recent reports reveal hundreds of earthquakes and a rapidly rising dome-shaped uplift, raising serious concerns about the supervolcano beneath. Could this be a sign of an impending eruption? What mysterious forces are at play beneath the park's serene surface? Join us as we dive deep into Yellowstone's latest seismic events and uncover the hidden truths behind this alarming situation. In a region as rich with history as Yellowstone, the story of its early exploration and establishment is as fascinating as the geological wonders it holds. Long before Yellowstone became a national park, it was home to Native American tribes like the Crow, Shoshone, and Blackfeet. These tribes had a deep connection with the land, using its geothermal features for various purposes, including cooking and healing. Their understanding of the area was deep, as they navigated its landscapes and respected its natural power. However, European-American exploration of Yellowstone didn't begin until the early 19th century. The famous Lewis and Clark expedition of 1804 to 1806, although not directly exploring Yellowstone, paved the way for future expeditions by mapping nearby regions. Their journey sparked interest in the mysteries of the American West. In 1869, the Cook-Folsom-Peterson expedition marked the first documented exploration of Yellowstone by non-Native Americans. This small-scale expedition revealed the wonders of Yellowstone to the world, documenting geysers, hot springs, and the stunning scenery. This was just the beginning. The turning point came with the Hayden Geological Survey of 1871, led by geologist Ferdinand versus Hayden. This federally funded expedition was crucial. Hayden, along with his team of artists, photographers, and scientists, spent months surveying and documenting Yellowstone's features. Their detailed reports and stunning visuals captured the public's imagination. Hayden's work was instrumental in convincing Congress to protect the area. Just a year later, in 1872, President Ulysses S. Grant signed the act establishing Yellowstone as the world's first national park. This monumental decision aimed to preserve the park's unique geological and ecological features for future generations. But what exactly makes Yellowstone so special? Yellowstone is a geological treasure trove, showcasing some of the planet's most extraordinary geothermal features. The park is famous for its geysers, hot springs, and fumaroles. Old Faithful, perhaps the most renowned geyser in the world, erupts with remarkable regularity, captivating visitors with its towering spray of water every 60 to 90 minutes. Yet,
I feel like when we learned about Yellowstone in school, or when we talked about it briefly, we didn't discuss this side of it. You know what I mean? As well as the severity of it erupting and what it could do. We never mentioned that. Definitely talked about Old Faithful, it being one of the most popular and world-renowned geysers. We talked about that. So forgive me, man, but sometimes I be feeling like it was going to school sometimes felt like a disservice. Like we wasn't getting what we needed. This is the stuff we need to hear about and know about. Like, amongst other things.
Yellowstone's geothermal activity goes far beyond Old Faithful. The park is home to around 10,000 thermal features, including vibrant hot springs like the Grand Prismatic Spring, which dazzles with its rainbow of colors. These features are surface expressions of the immense geothermal energy lying beneath. In fact, there's a dangerous secret lurking beneath the surface of Yellowstone Park. Beneath Yellowstone lies the Yellowstone Caldera, one of the largest active volcanic systems in the world. This supervolcano has erupted 3 times in the past 2.1 million years, with each eruption being thousands of times more powerful than typical volcanic eruptions. But Yellowstone's challenges didn't end with its formation. The interaction between the geothermal system and the tectonic forces beneath creates a dynamic and ever-changing environment. This geothermal wonderland continues to be a focus of scientific research, revealing new insights into Earth's inner workings. So why is Yellowstone's geological activity so important? The answer lies in its ability to teach us about the powerful forces shaping our planet. As we uncover the secrets of this incredible park, we gain a deeper understanding of the natural world and our place within it. In recent months, Yellowstone National Park has been the center of attention due to a significant surge in seismic activity. This increase in earthquakes has raised eyebrows and concerns among scientists and the general public alike. But what exactly is happening beneath Yellowstone's surface? Yellowstone has always been a hotbed of geothermal activity, but the recent spike in seismic events is unusual. In just a few months, the park has experienced hundreds of minor earthquakes. This surge is not just a random occurrence, it's part of a pattern that has scientists on high alert. Historically, Yellowstone is no stranger to earthquakes. The region typically sees between 1,500 and 2,500 quakes annually, most of them too small to be felt by humans. However, in some years like 2017, the number of quakes skyrocketed, with over 3,400 reported events. One of the most notable swarms in recent history was the Maple Creek Swarm. Starting in June 2017, this swarm lasted several months, producing more than 2,475 earthquakes. The sheer number and frequency of these quakes were staggering and served as a reminder of the park's volatile nature. So what does this recent uptick in seismic activity mean? Could it be a precursor to something more significant? To answer these questions, scientists rely on a network of monitoring tools to keep a close watch on Yellowstone seismic activity. The U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, and the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, YVO, play crucial roles in this effort. The USGS and YVO have established an extensive monitoring system throughout the park. This network includes seismographs, which are sensitive instruments that measure and record the vibrations of the Earth. Seismographs can detect even the faintest tremors, providing valuable data on the frequency and intensity of earthquakes. In addition to seismographs, GPS stations are scattered across Yellowstone. These devices track the slightest movements in the Earth's crust. By analyzing GPS data over time, scientists can determine whether specific areas are rising, sinking, or shifting laterally. This information is crucial for understanding the forces at play beneath Yellowstone and predicting potential volcanic activity. Another critical tool in the monitoring arsenal is satellite imagery. Satellites equipped with advanced sensors can capture detailed images of Yellowstone's topography. These images help scientists detect changes in the landscape, such as the rapid uplift of the ground. When combined with ground-based measurements, satellite data provides a comprehensive view of the geological processes occurring in the park. So what have these tools revealed about the recent seismic activity? The data shows that the recent earthquake swarms are concentrated in specific areas of the park, particularly around the Norris Geyser Basin and Yellowstone Lake. These regions are known for their geothermal activity, suggesting a strong link between the earthquakes and the movement of magma beneath the surface. But the challenges don't end there. Understanding and predicting seismic activity in a place as complex as Yellowstone requires constant vigilance and advanced technology. The USGS and YVO teams are continuously analyzing data, looking for patterns and signs that might indicate an impending eruption. However, despite all the sophisticated monitoring, predicting exactly when and where an earthquake or volcanic eruption will occur remains a challenge. The Earth's processes are incredibly...
That's heartbreaking to hear, bro. Even the best technology that we have, the most integrated, updated technology that we have still isn't enough to predict. Now, what does that mean? Do we have enough time to try to get to safety, if safety is a possibility? See, this is the thing. We don't hear about that. We have to go find this information, go digging for it. This isn't something that's going to be talked about on the news. If they do, you get a little small, brief, little window of them talking about it because they want to get back to other things, controversy, wars, elections, everything else. And then not saying those things aren't important, but this is too. This is our life we playing with. So that's why I like to come back and revisit it ever so often.
Complex and often unpredictable, and we don't know when exactly Yellowstone might erupt and cause a massive disaster. The alarming increase in earthquakes at Yellowstone is a clear signal that something significant is happening beneath the park's surface. With the USGS and YVO diligently monitoring these events, we can stay informed about the potential risks and what they might mean for the future. But that's not all. An unseen force is making its presence known in Yellowstone Park. Recent observations have revealed a rapidly expanding dome-shaped uplift, an indication of significant geological changes occurring beneath the surface. But what could this possibly be? Scientists have been monitoring the park closely, and the discovery of this dome-shaped uplift is both fascinating and concerning. Using advanced satellite imagery and precise ground-based GPS, measurements researchers have identified that the ground in a specific area of Yellowstone has been rising at an alarming rate. In some regions, the uplift measures several centimeters per year, a rate that in geological terms is quite significant. The presence of a dome-shaped uplift in Yellowstone is a direct signal from the Earth's interior. This uplift suggests that magma is moving closer to the surface, creating pressure that causes the ground above to bulge. The magma chamber beneath Yellowstone is vast, and its movements can lead to substantial deformation of the Earth's crust. But what makes this uplift particularly intriguing is its rapid rate of expansion. Normally, such geological changes occur over much longer periods. The current pace of uplift hints at intense magmatic activity beneath the surface. Could this be a precursor to a major volcanic event? While it's impossible to predict with certainty, the signs are certainly pointing to significant subterranean activity. The significance of the dome-shaped uplift extends beyond the immediate geological implications. It's a reminder of the powerful forces at play beneath Yellowstone, a supervolcano capable of massive eruptions. The last major eruption occurred approximately 640,000 years ago, reshaping the landscape and leaving a lasting mark on the planet. The recent uplift could be an early warning sign that the magma chamber is becoming more active once again. However, the challenges of interpreting these signals cannot be overstated. The Earth's crust is a complex and dynamic system, and while the uplift suggests increased magmatic activity, it doesn't necessarily mean an eruption is imminent. Scientists must consider a multitude of factors, including the rate of uplift, the composition of the magma, and the historical patterns of volcanic activity in the region. What does this bode for the future of Yellowstone? The ongoing uplift indicates that the park's geological story is far from over. Continued monitoring and research are essential to understanding the potential risks and preparing for any future events. In the midst of these discoveries, one question lingers. How prepared are we for the potential consequences of such geological changes? The answers lie in the ongoing efforts of scientists and researchers dedicated to unraveling the mysteries of Yellowstone's fiery heart. But the mysteries of Yellowstone National Park don't end there. An intriguing phenomenon is unfolding in the park. Wildlife, which usually follows predictable patterns, has begun to act strangely. Bison, elk, deer, and birds are displaying behaviors that have scientists scratching their heads and raising eyebrows. But what exactly is going on? In recent months, park rangers have reported unusual movements among these animals. Herds of bison, known for their steady and predictable migrations, have been seen moving en masse away from the park center. Similarly, elk and deer have been venturing into areas they typically avoid, while bird species are flying in atypical patterns, some even leaving their established territories. These behaviors are not just random occurrences.
No, not at all. Not at all. This is bad. That is bad when you hear that. I always say that, man. Pay attention to the animals. They're like kind of like your little indicators to let you know that something's about to happen. So The animals may be better than any type of technology that we have. Paying attention to them is like, oh, okay. And then you just have to decipher what it is. Now, them being in that area, you could be like, all right, Yellowstone, eruption, about to happen. They getting ghosts. Birds is leaving. We need to be out too. Matter of fact, we probably need to follow where they're going. They probably know where safety is better than we do.
They are a part of a pattern that suggests something significant is happening in Yellowstone. Animals have long been regarded as nature's intuitive barometers. Their heightened sensitivity allows them to detect subtle environmental changes that humans often overlook. This ability to sense impending danger has been documented throughout history, and it plays a crucial role in their survival. In Yellowstone, these behavioral changes could be signaling an upcoming geological event. The park's geothermal activity and seismic shifts are often preceded by these telltale signs in the animal kingdom. So how exactly do animals act as natural early warning systems? The answer lies in their acute senses and instinctual behaviors. For instance, animals can detect underground tremors and shifts in gas emissions long before humans can. Their response to these subtle changes is often to flee or alter their usual patterns, seeking safety from the potential danger. This instinctual behavior has been observed in various species around the world, particularly in regions prone to natural disasters. Historically, there are numerous accounts of animals acting strangely before significant geological events. Indigenous tribes, who have lived in harmony with nature for millennia, have documented these behaviors in their oral traditions and stories. In the Yellowstone region, tribes such as the Shoshone and Blackfeet have recounted tales of animals fleeing the area before eruptions and earthquakes. These stories, passed down through generations, show the deep connection between wildlife behavior and environmental changes. One notable historical example comes from the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens. In the days leading up to the eruption, wildlife in the area began to behave erratically. Deer and elk were seen moving to lower elevations, and birds altered their flight patterns. These changes were later understood as responses to the geological activity brewing beneath the surface. Similar behaviors have been observed in Yellowstone now, suggesting that the animals there might be sensing something we cannot yet fully comprehend. While it's challenging to predict geological events with absolute certainty, the unusual animal behaviors are a signal that something is amiss. The recent seismic activity and the rapidly expanding dome-shaped uplift add weight to the theory that Yellowstone's geological system is becoming increasingly active. Could the animals be sensing an impending eruption or another significant event? As scientists continue to monitor the situation, they are paying close attention to these natural early warning systems. The behavior of Yellowstone's wildlife could provide valuable clues about the underlying geological processes. By studying these patterns, researchers hope to gain a better understanding of what might be coming next. The thought of the Yellowstone supervolcano erupting is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. While it's a rare event, understanding the potential scenarios and their consequences is crucial. But what would a supervolcano eruption at Yellowstone actually look like? A potential eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano would be nothing short of catastrophic. The initial explosion would unleash pyroclastic flows, fast-moving currents of hot gas and volcanic matter that could incinerate everything in their path within a radius of up to 40 miles. These flows are deadly, capable of moving at speeds of up to 450 miles per hour and reaching temperatures of around 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. But the immediate destruction is just the beginning. The eruption would also spew vast amounts of ash high into the atmosphere. This ash would spread across the continent, carried by the wind, blanketing areas hundreds to thousands of miles away. Major cities like Denver, Salt Lake City, and even as far away as New York and Los Angeles could find themselves under layers of volcanic ash. This ash is not just a nuisance. It's abrasive, acidic, and toxic, posing severe health risks, contaminating water sources, and making agriculture difficult, if not impossible, for years. The long-term effects of such an eruption are equally dire. The massive amount of ash and gases released into the atmosphere would have a huge impact on global climate. Sulfur dioxide in particular would form sulfuric acid aerosols that reflect sunlight leading to a significant cooling of the Earth's surface. Scientists estimate that a supervolcano eruption could lead to a drop in global temperatures by as much as 5 to 10 degrees Celsius, triggering a volcanic winter. This sudden and drastic change in climate could lead to widespread crop failures, food shortages, and even famine in many parts of the world. However, there are other reasons why this scenario is so alarming. The eruption would also release huge amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, which could contribute to long-term climate change once the immediate cooling effect wears off. The environmental impact would be felt globally, altering weather patterns and affecting ecosystems far beyond Yellowstone. To fully grasp the potential threat, we must look at Yellowstone's past eruptions. The supervolcano has erupted 3 times in the last 2.1 million years.
Now, I was thinking about this, right? I think it was the movie Day After Tomorrow. It was on the other day on TV, and I happened to see it. I think that was the name of it. And where that just little ice age came through. I was thinking, how do we survive that? If possible, do we go underground? Is it possible to go underground, or is it colder underground? You know what I mean? Maybe caves, different cave systems. But then it gotta be a way to keep yourself warm. How do you do that? Like, does anybody have a cave or any type of a bomb shelter or something like that, where they have tons of wood or ways to keep them heated for, it gotta be at least a year. I don't think anybody's equipped for that. If you are, you need to make yourself known, man, so we can be friends, bro. We need to be friends.
Each time with devastating effects. The most recent eruption, approximately 640,000 years ago, ejected over 1,000 cubic kilometers of volcanic material, more than 1,000 times the volume of the 1980 Mount St. Helens eruption. This colossal eruption reshaped the landscape, creating the Yellowstone Caldera, the massive crater that measures about 30 by 45 miles. These historical eruptions had far-reaching impacts. The ash and gases released into the atmosphere caused global temperatures to plummet, affecting climates worldwide. The scale and magnitude of these eruptions dwarf most other volcanic events in recorded history. For instance, the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in AD 79, which buried the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum, was minuscule compared to Yellowstone's potential. Even the eruption of Krakatoa in 1883, which caused dramatic sunsets worldwide and lowered global temperatures, pales in comparison to the supervolcano's power. As we watch the recent geological changes and seismic activity in Yellowstone, the question lingers: could another massive eruption be on the horizon? While the odds of such an event occurring in our lifetime are relatively low, the potential consequences are so severe that scientists and officials must remain vigilant. In addition to seismic activity and volcanic threats, Yellowstone National Park has recently faced another challenge: severe flooding. This unexpected event has not only tested the park's infrastructure, but also raised questions about its impact on geological activity. What caused this flooding, and how did the park respond? Recent heavy rains and rapid snowmelt led to significant flooding inside Yellowstone, causing widespread damage and prompting the closure of the entire park. Chopper footage revealed the extent of the flooding, with rivers overflowing their banks and inundating roads, bridges, and facilities. The floodwaters stranded visitors and park staff, creating a dangerous situation that required immediate action. The Montana National Guard played a crucial role in the emergency response. They mobilized quickly, deploying helicopters and personnel to rescue nearly 90 people trapped by the rising waters. These heroic efforts ensured that everyone was safely evacuated from the most affected areas. However, the challenges didn't end with the immediate response. The flooding caused extensive damage to infrastructure, necessitating urgent repairs and long-term rebuilding efforts. Roads were washed out, bridges collapsed, and many of the park's facilities were left in ruins. The cleanup and restoration work will take considerable time and resources, impacting park operations and visitor access in the months to come. But beyond the immediate physical damage, the flooding also raises intriguing questions about its impact on Yellowstone's geological activity. How might the influx of water interact with the park's geothermal and seismic systems? Floodwaters can infiltrate the ground, seeping into the complex network of faults and fractures beneath Yellowstone. This sudden increase in groundwater can potentially alter the pressure dynamics in the geothermal system. As water goes deeper, it can interact with the hot rocks and magma below, potentially influencing the behavior of geysers, hot springs, and other thermal features. One notable example is the Norris Geyser Basin, an area known for its dynamic geothermal activity. Changes in water levels and pressure could trigger more frequent or intense geyser eruptions, as well as affect the temperature and chemistry of the hot springs. Scientists are closely monitoring these areas to understand how the recent flooding might alter their behavior. Moreover, the additional weight of floodwaters can impact seismic activity. The added mass can increase stress on fault lines, potentially triggering small earthquakes. While these quakes are usually minor, they can still provide valuable insights into the subsurface dynamics of Yellowstone. Researchers use seismographs and other monitoring tools to detect and analyze these changes, hoping to learn more about the interactions between water and the Earth's crust. As we consider the implications of this flooding, it becomes clear that Yellowstone's challenges are multifaceted. The park's geological and environmental systems are linked, and changes in one aspect can have far-reaching effects on others. The recent unusual activity in Yellowstone has sparked a flurry of responses from the scientific community. Geologists and other experts have been closely monitoring the situation, offering their insights and concerns about what might be unfolding beneath the park's surface. But what are these experts saying? And could their observations help us prevent this catastrophe? According to Dr. Mike Poland, the scientist in charge at the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, the recent increase in seismic activity and the rapid uplift of the ground are significant but not entirely unexpected. He explains that Yellowstone is a dynamic system and such changes are part of its natural behavior. However, the scale and speed of the current events are notable and warrant close scrutiny. Dr. Poland emphasizes that while these changes are intriguing, they do not necessarily indicate an imminent eruption. The Yellowstone monitoring team continues to analyze the data to understand the underlying causes better. Dr. Lisa Morgan, a renowned geophysicist, also weighs in on the situation. She highlights the importance of the advanced monitoring systems in place, which provide real-time data on seismic activity, ground deformation, and gas emissions. These tools are crucial for detecting early warning signs of potential volcanic activity. Dr. Morgan notes that the combination of satellite imagery and ground-based GPS measurements has significantly improved our ability to track geological changes with high precision. However, the scientific explanations are just one side of the story. The unusual activity in Yellowstone has also given rise to several speculative theories. One popular theory suggests that the recent changes could be linked to extraterrestrial encounters. Some enthusiasts believe that the geothermal features of Yellowstone might attract alien interest, leading to increased activity in the area. Another intriguing speculation revolves around...
But what would they want with Yellowstone? Or what type of power or what type of energy do they think it possesses that they can utilize it for? See, that's even more reason we need to be paying attention and figuring out if there is any unusual UFO or UAP activity going on there, and not turn a blind eye to this stuff, man. The answer could be within Yellowstone. Could be a key to some of this activity we're seeing. But they're too busy trying to downplay it and act like it is not possible than actually look into it the way we should be.
Around mysterious structures believed to be hidden beneath Yellowstone. Some theorists propose that ancient advanced civilizations may have built these structures, and their discovery could explain the recent geological changes. Proponents of this idea point to unusual formations detected by ground-penetrating radar and other remote sensing technologies. As we continue to monitor the developments in Yellowstone, one thing is clear. The park's geological activity is a subject of immense interest and importance. Whether through rigorous scientific investigation or the lens of speculative theories, our quest to understand Yellowstone's secrets is an ongoing journey. As Yellowstone continues to show signs of unusual activity, preparedness and mitigation efforts are more critical than ever. The possibility of a major geological event, such as a supervolcano eruption, necessitates comprehensive measures to protect both the park and the surrounding communities. But what steps are being taken to ensure readiness? Emergency preparedness is at the forefront of these efforts. The Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, YVO, in collaboration with various governmental and scientific organizations, has developed a robust monitoring and early warning system. This system includes an extensive network of seismographs, GPS stations, and satellite monitoring tools designed to detect even the slightest changes in seismic activity, ground deformation, and gas emissions. These tools are essential for providing timely alerts to scientists and officials, allowing them to respond quickly to any signs of an impending eruption. One of the key components of this preparedness strategy is the establishment of clear evacuation plans. Detailed evacuation routes have been mapped out, and emergency response teams are trained to mobilize swiftly in the event of a crisis.
Glad to finally hear that. I don't think we've discussed that or heard them mention that. Now, we still don't know what it is, but to hear that is somewhat, somewhat comforting. I can say that, to hear that.
These plans are regularly updated based on the latest data and simulations, ensuring that they remain effective and relevant. Drills and exercises are conducted to test these plans, involving local communities and emergency services to ensure everyone knows their role and can act promptly. Another crucial aspect of preparedness is public awareness and education. It's essential that residents and visitors to the Yellowstone area understand the potential risks and know how to stay safe. Public information campaigns are conducted regularly, providing vital information about what to do in the event of an earthquake or volcanic eruption. These campaigns utilize various media, including social media, local news, and informational brochures to reach a wide audience. For visitors, Yellowstone National Park provides clear guidelines and safety information. Upon entering the park, visitors receive brochures detailing the risks and the steps to take in an emergency. Park rangers are also trained to educate visitors and ensure they follow safety protocols, particularly in areas with high geothermal activity. In the digital age, staying informed has never been easier. Various online resources and apps provide real-time updates on Yellowstone's geological activity. The YVO website offers detailed reports and live data feeds, while mobile apps can send alerts directly to users' phones. Following official social media accounts and subscribing to alert services can also help people stay up to date with the latest developments. By staying informed, being prepared, and understanding the risks, we can minimize the impact of any geological events at Yellowstone. As we continue to monitor Yellowstone, the commitment to preparedness remains our best defense against the unpredictable forces of nature.